All right, the Reds, thank you very much for tuning in for our daily Liverpool live stream. If you're new around here and keep up to date on all things Liverpool, make sure you hit that subscribe button, the follow button down below. I really do appreciate every single one of you, the Reds, or if you're rival fans as well, very welcome on the channels as well. But thank you to every single one of you for the continued support and just really. The dust has settled on Liverpool's defeat, and really I've had a lot of time really to think and sleep on the game and really reflect. Even on my post-match reaction, I was probably a bit too harsh in reality, but some of the stuff that I have seen on social media, especially attacking yet again, it's only a small minority. The Joel Matip's, I've put Big Joel on there anyway. What a player. Probably the first bad performance he's probably had in about 3-4 years. It's the standard of which these players have put in recent years. We've been spoilt by how well our lads have played in relation. And as you can see there from the title, Reds, obviously Liverpool in relation to the 4 previous seasons, we've only lost 19 times, and obviously 1 defeat this season in 11 games, which is an absolute staggering number. Obviously, we go back to the 2017-18 season. This is all Premier League. Obviously, we have lost in other competitions, but in relation to the Premier League, which is paramount, really, yes, we've only won the Premier League once, but we've had great competitions in recent times against a very dominant, very good Manchester City side. And I tell you, we've run them close, but sadly, we haven't quite got there, apart from one season. But if you combine that, 5 losses in the Premier League in 2017-18 season, that's the season in which we did finish in the Champions League spot. If you all remember, Ginny getting the goal against Middlesbrough, I think we won 3-0. What a great result. That started the ball rolling for Jurgen Klopp, bringing in his plays and the current crop in which we do see laid the foundations. In the 2018-19 season, we lost 1 game in the Premier League all season. Mad. And we did finish second in that league campaign as well. In the 2019-20 season, we only registered 3 losses and we finished first, getting our first title in 30 years, which is absolutely tremendous stuff in relation. And obviously the 2018-19 season, that's the season which we did miss out on the league title by 2-3 points, and City were absolutely mad that year. It was crazy. What a good title challenge that was from not just Liverpool but Manchester City most importantly. And then obviously the 2019-20 season, 3 losses, and we did finish first, as I just said there. And then 2020-21 season, the mad season in relation, not just for Liverpool, but for everyone, we did register 9 losses, but we did finish third when we basically had no centre-backs. We had 20-odd defensive partnerships, which is crazy. I don't think a top side in Europe even probably had 10 different partnerships at the back, but Liverpool struggled. But we've learned from that. We've signed Konate, which is fantastic. We've got Joel Matip fully fit this season. Fingers crossed he can stay fit for a lot more longer period. Obviously, Joe Gomez has currently suffered another injury, so fingers crossed that's not too bad. But and obviously this year we've played 11 Premier League games and suffered 1 Premier League loss. We have become too greedy. Yes, that's that winning mentality in which Jurgen Klopp has instilled, but Jurgen, we will react well. I know Wolves, we want to win every single game. That's a standard in which Jurgen has brought back to the football club. Obviously, grew up, well, my dad and obviously the older generation, the 70s and that, they were used to winning European Cups and league titles every single year. But Jurgen has brought us back to the top of the Europe, on the top of the Premier League, competing at this level. Yes, you're not going to win every single game. Barcelona, back in the years when they had that great, legendary team, they lost games, surprisingly, even when they did have Messi, Neymar, Suarez, Dani Alves, Xavi, Iniestas. So every team does lose. But yes, we can talk about the reaction, and that will be key. Jurgen Klopp will get the reaction that we all expect. And it wouldn't surprise me if Liverpool did, say, for the next couple of weeks, go on a run, even a 25 game Premier League run of not losing, and hopefully it's all wins. But it's the reaction. I'd be more concerned in next coming weeks if Liverpool didn't have that desired reaction. Then we could talk about it and say, why is this happening? But I think it is disappointing. You heard back from out of the window then. Not too sure what's that about Tom anyway. It was crap, but it's not like we've lost heavily to a bottom of the league team. You're very much spot on there, the Anfield Arc. The bad thing was being outplayed by West Bloody Ham. They're a very good side, mate, and I know you can't be disrespectful, and teams win football games. Well, most of us have played Sunday League or in every level, even in school. Teams do have tactics, and rightly so. West Ham deserve a lot of credit for that result yesterday. Yes, Liverpool didn't make it easy, but they done the number on us. And a lot of teams hopefully won't do that this year, but even when we have lost in the past, and this notion of people on social media, non-Liverpool fans, going, Jurgen always doesn't give any of the rival teams that beat him praise. That's completely false, mate. Go and watch Jurgen's interviews. Only, obviously, they're rival fans. They watch a small portion of Jurgen Klopp. They're not going to sit there and watch every Jurgen Klopp interview. But the amount of interviews we've all seen of Jurgen Klopp massively praising opposition teams when they have beaten. He's not a manager that sits there like a Rodgers or a Hodgson and even a Rafa to a certain extent and makes excuses for how poor his sides are playing. Jurgen Klopp has got a lot of respect for all the managers, all the players within the Premier League and everyone. So it's crazy. It all fits into people's agendas. Never done it, Reds, but let them all moan. Hello, fellow Reds. We all back our players, but is Klopp backed enough nowadays? Yeah, Eamon, you never walk alone stands for something, mate, don't it? And I was going to get the tweet up of, obviously, people were giving Joel Matip's wife a load of stick. If it's not Joel Matip's wife, it's Gini Wijnaldum, or it's another Liverpool player. It's Karius. It's disgusting. And frankly, I just wish they'd be found out really on social media. But sadly, social media companies don't do enough in relation to chasing up the hatred that we do see on every single social media platform. It's disgusting because Joe and his family don't deserve that. Most importantly, but it's all people with like about 20 accounts that have got nothing better to do with their lives, even jumping in live streams, trolling people as well. It's disgusting, but some people don't have that many exciting lives anyway. But yeah, Eamons, fully agree, mate. And I think you probably seen that video I done a couple of years, Eamons, when I said at the time, I think if you go back about 2 years, Reds, if you've got that, I know it's better to do. But I done a video of it's about time FSG backed Klopp, and I said if this manager gets backed the way that he deserves, he will win a Premier League and potentially a Champions League. And we did. Surprise, surprise, because he's a world-class coach who develops talent within his squad at Mainz, at Dortmund, at Liverpool. Even the people that did criticise Robinson, everyone was like, well, we're signing a whole relegated fullback. He's not the standard in which Liverpool need. It's not about the price tag of a player. It's about the quality and the mentality of the player, whether they want to come into work every single week, put in the hours on the training ground and develop as a player. Yes, players are only human, like us. If you get paid a bit more in terms of your wages, not every player is like that. That's the type of characters that we don't want at the football club. And if any player has been like that in the past, then they've been out the door, and there's been so many great examples of the grass isn't always green on the other side. But at the end of the day, Liverpool Football Club is bigger than any player. You all know, Liverpool will be here for the next 100, 200 years, and the players will come and go, as you would say anyway. Zuki, we need to make the most of when teams drop points. Yeah, Zuki, that's very important, mate, in terms of the mentality. I think that will come, mate. It's Zuki, they very much will. It's just a matter of time, really, in relation of getting results in the next couple of weeks, really. But yeah, it was only a quick one. We need to make the most of when teams we very much do anyway. Defeat probably good for us to kick us up the backside. Just a bad day at the office. Well deserved win for West Ham. 27 games remaining, nothing decided at this time in the season. Very much is, mate. But still a long way to go anyway. Can't wait for Elliot to be back. Positives as well, Zuki. What a rising star he will be, and he will very much save Liverpool a lot of money when he gets back to full fitness in the next 5-10 years. He's a Liverpool fan, most importantly, and that makes it even more better as well. A bad loss, but it came as a good time, 2-week break for the team and re-examine themselves. But we've been leaking goals since the Brentford game. Yeah, Jürgen, yeah, I'll address you as Jürgen, mate. The absolute legend. Thank you for the support as always, mate. Every single one of you. You've hit the nail on the head. It's the perfect point now, really. Klopp will. A lot of the players will have a break over the last 2 weeks. They'll be straight into Mel Woods. I think Jürgen, as managers mainly do, after a bad result, you give them like 24 hours off to recuperate, spend time with the family, and then they'll be back in working on set pieces. Most importantly, I think that would be the main thing. But obviously, the transitional playing really in relation to obviously the attacking. But it's all about a learning curve. And as you said there, mate, it's come at the right time, and we can reevaluate. We were bullied. I didn't like that we were. Cheers, that North. We were bullied. I didn't like that we should be able to stand up to this whenever it happens. You can't legislate for a poor ref, but you can't stand up and be a bully. It can stand up and bully a bully. We didn't. Yeah, no, for that, it's the thing, mate. It's probably one of the most physical teams in Europe. West Ham, the majority of their players are about 6'5". Liverpool, Van Dijk 6'4", 6'5", Matip 6'3", Henderson's about 6 foot, Fabinho 6'1", 6'2". But that's how teams do play, mate. And yeah, I can understand you fully 100% there, mate. Yes, it's a lesson learned, North, innit? As Klopp said, then 2 weeks to recuperate, and it's happened now, and that's a whole game of Liverpool. When we played Real Madrid, they absolutely took out Salah. That was their game plan, the dark arts. We learned that. We've learned that lesson, and going forward, and West Ham will be a massive lesson and a learning curve for these players. But we will develop in the next couple of weeks. This has happened. This has happened against Brentford. This happened against Brighton. We would have learned so much, and most importantly, Jurgen Klopp and the players would have learned far more than us watching and analysing a game of footy. But yeah, well said, mate. Social media bullies, losers. Yeah, it's only a small minority, mate. But it's imagine if social media was as big when we had Roy Hodgson, everyone. Christ. Imagine what would everyone have been saying? Imagine everyone would have been going absolutely off the nut when we had Roy Hodgson rubbing his face and everything. But it's the thing. It's crazy, mate. Obviously, yeah, Doug, I'll be here in a very small second, mate. I know I am a bit late, but obviously I just want to get a quick video out. I don't expect Klopp to ring the changes when the Premier League returns. He'll give the same XI the chance to bounce back after the break. But if we lose to Arsenal, I would say it becomes serious. Say Klopp, very much so, mate. But we are only 11 games in, 19 losses in 4 years in the Premier League. Certain teams in the Premier League get 19 losses in 1 year. Yes, the winning mentality is about getting that, but it's all a learning curve anyway. Last season, we all thought top 4 was gone, but we came through. The next 10 games will show us where we really are if the title is on. Spot on there, Eamons. every single one of us, obviously, even the Barca game, Eamon, all of us, we were like, we're 4-0 down. But that's the beauty of supporting Liverpool Football Club. We get behind our lads, whatever negativity or nonsense getting spouted outside the football club, let them all chat a load of nonsense. All these pundits and everyone who have got mates at Sky, mates at Talksport, BT, they've all got mank mates, Cockney mates as well. I support all the big clubs. Everyone hates Liverpool in reality because of how successful we have been as a football club and as a city as well. So let them all talk their nonsense, and we'll be back to winning European Cups and Premier Leagues very soon. Anyway, if it's this year, sound happy days. That'll make them even more despise us even more. So up to Reds and Reds. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you have a lovely night anyway. Apologies, it's not going to be much of a long one, but really do appreciate every single one of you for tuning in. And as well, if you are new around here, make sure you do hit that follow button, subscribe button, Reds. And as always, you'll never walk alone. Ta-da, Reds.